Let's ask Jared.
Let's ask Jared. He'll tell us. We'll go to Jared.
Let's go to Jared. Jared Sandler joining us right now, and you can give him a follow too at Jared Sandler. A number of jobs. You can look them all up, including a lot of work covering this team on a daily basis. Does a great job. Proud member of the FT guest fam. Jared, good to see you, dude. Happy World Series. Obviously, these are great times for fans in Arlington. So where do you want to start? You want to start on that with Semien?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, Jared, let's get right into it. What's going on with Marcus Semien? Is there any chance that if he, continues to struggle like this, something would change?
So I joked. I sent a little tweet and I said we were going to do a live procedure in which I donate my oblique to Adolis Garcia here on the show. I think there's a greater likelihood that in the next 10 minutes that happens than Marcus Semien not leading off. And AJ, Erik, you guys know there's certain guys, there's a loyalty or a trust factor that managers have with players. There's a pride part of it too. Marcus Semien ain't going anywhere. He's had nearly 900 plate appearances as a leadoff hitter this year. They're not going to change it. They need him to get things right, especially if Adolis Garcia is unable to play. They're going to need someone to step up. He's, a pretty likely candidate. It just seems like, people have really tried hard to attack him over the outside part of the plate. He's a very pull-happy hitter. That's how he makes his money. He elevates the ball pull side. And, it's not that he can't hit those pitches because he did during the regular season, but I don't know if it's a timing thing or what. But the Astros did a great job of it. And the hit he had yesterday, Arizona tried to beat him inside, and he got them. So it just seems like, as long as you stay away from Marcus Semien, he's going to help you do the work. But I don't think anything's changing with him in the leadoff spot for this year.
Yeah, if nothing changes, though, the Rangers will be out pretty quick. I heard you got on tell us about getting on the elevator with Adolis here this afternoon or whenever that was, recently here.
Yeah, was walking out of the bus. He is at the ballpark, and guys, I think he's going to try and play. Now he's got to go through some stuff here, a little workout, whatnot, and hopefully things go well. I don't know that there's any indication whether this is a likelihood or not. If I had a bet, I still think that'd be a tough one to pull. But I think he's going to try and give it a go, and we'll see probably in the next few hours when the lineup is out whether or not he's in there. But I mean, he's got this ability to carry a lineup as we saw against Houston. But it's not just that. This team is a really good defensive team, and we saw yesterday how big of a role he plays in that. I mean, his arm has really kind of prevented people from trying to advance. And I guess Tony Perez-Chica tried to hold up Christian Walker, but Christian Walker decided, no, sir. And that was a game-changing play. If Christian Walker doesn't go, it's first and third and nobody out, and who knows what happens. And if Christian Walker is able to score because Adolis' throw is offline or Jonah Heim doesn't receive the throw cleanly, then, again, who knows what happens. Neither team this postseason has lost a game in which they scored first. And getting that first run was a big part of yesterday because Arizona didn't get it. And then right away, that very next half inning, the Rangers did get it.
What was the injury, by the way, for Adolis kind of late in the year? Because I remember we talked a lot about how the offense looked so different by the time they got to the postseason. He came back pretty quick from that one, didn't he?
Yeah, it was a knee injury. He was trying to rob one of those spares on the Astros of a home run. And no, I'm just kidding. I think it was Kyle Tucker. But when he landed, at Globe Life Field, it's not like Houston where you can just do a bunny hop and you're reaching halfway over the wall. He went, fully elevated and then just didn't land right on his knee. And there was some thought by Adolis, by people at the Rangers that, that was going to be an injury that wouldn't just knock him out the rest of this year, but into next year. And thankfully the scans came back okay. He still was supposed to miss pretty much all the regular season, but he ended up coming back. I mean, he's kind of a physical freak, physical specimen, but that was a knee thing. This is an oblique thing. He's dodged some bullets this year already with muscle-related injuries not being as severe as what was initially expected, and hopefully that's the case here.
Jared, I've been told by some fans in the chat, including Eddie, who's one of the regulars, that you probably hate the Astros more than anyone, LOL. So I heard a little Astros love right there. I mean, we haven't had you on since that series ended. So your thoughts, and really the thoughts of the people out there in the Dallas area who have been waiting for this moment for a while, not just to be good again, not just for the Astros to like not make it to the World Series, because they often do. Obviously, they always make it to the LCS. But for them to be the team that knocks them out, I'm sure that has lit a spark under baseball in that area.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I just saw a video on Instagram of Alex Bregman playing basketball and t-ball with his son, and I'm just so glad he's got the time to do that, because I know in his mind he wasn't going to be free for the next couple weeks. So it really warms my heart that he's got some free time now. And I say that on behalf of the DFW fan base. I mean, the reality is this isn't a long-standing rivalry with decades of history. It only really became a rivalry, I guess, when the Astros joined the AL West, but those first 2 years, the Astros were still in that rebuild mode. 2015 and 2016, this rivalry was fun. And then the Rangers didn't hold up their end of the bargain from 2017 through last season. I mean, it was still a rivalry, and Houston and Dallas in general don't forget sports. People from Houston don't really like people from Dallas and vice versa. But this rivalry was dormant until this year. And I just think it's great for the sport. I think it was awesome that, not only did they meet up in the postseason, but it went 7 games. And, thankfully, I'm glad everyone was healthy. The Brian Abreu hitting Adolis Garcia it was almost like guys on both sides were trying to be on their best behavior and say the right things and not stoke the fire. But then Adolis got hit. He turned to Maldonado. Maldonado claimed that it woke them up. And, all of a sudden the war of words really started. And that was great. I think it was great for the sport. And obviously I'm happy the way it ended with the Rangers winning. And it was awfully nice to do it in Houston and watch that ballpark clear out. But the fact is, Rangers fans have been slapped in the face over and over by Astros fans because they haven't had the upper hand to play in this rivalry for the last several years. But now I'm hoping that at least for the next few years, this can be a pretty competitive rivalry. And maybe the Mariners find their way in it. But within the state of Texas, I'm hoping that this is fun. I also have some laundry that needs to get done because we've been on the road. So if Martin Maldonado would like to do that, I'm happy to give him my address because he's got some free time as well.
Wow. Okay.
Can I say I'm surrounded by catchers? Maybe I shouldn't have gone the Martin Maldonado route. I apologize. I need to know my company a little bit better.
He's bringing it, though. He's bringing it.
I like it. I like the trash talking from the radio guy. That's amazing.
Yeah, because, I had some really good at-bats this series, guys, or that series. I clearly feel I feel like, I really earned it, right? With all that I contributed to that win.
You earned that American League championship ring you have right now.
That's right.
It's well-deserved.
Yeah.
Jared, we do the Players' Choice Awards here, and I was arguing for Corey Seager over Shohei Otani. We're trying to figure out a way for him to win this award, and you've got to watch Corey for a couple years now, every day playing defense. You talked about his defense and how he's a Gold Glove finalist, and we've seen it in the postseason. How good is Corey Seager, and should he be ranked in the top 5 to 10 players in all of Major League Baseball?
Wait, one thing, Jared, I want to add, just so he knows about the award. The particular award that we were talking about does not factor in pitching. The AL Outstanding Player of the Year award is just for what you're doing as a position player. And for Otani, obviously, that's really just what he's doing as a hitter.
Yeah. So if you're going to include the defense, then I think that gives Corey the edge. So I was broadcasting for the Fighting Great Lakes Loons of the Midwest League in 2012 when the Dodgers, they had drafted Corey Seager. He played for the team for the Loons in 12 or 13. And from the time he was drafted, people have been trying to move him off of short. And I know a lot of the metrics, tell a certain story. And, I didn't watch him every day when he was with the Dodgers. But what I can tell you is this year, he has been really, really good at short. And he made a big-time play yesterday on that double play ball late with Chapman on the mound. And you never really know where that roller coaster ride is going to take you. And, that play was huge. I just, is he Andrelton Simmons at short? No. Is he fill in the blank, like not Omar Vizquel or whatever shortstop defensive wizard you want to put in there. But he made just about every freaking play that came his way this year. And I'm glad he got the Gold Glove nomination or finalist recognition because this is a guy who's been knocked over and over for his defense. And I just thought he was outstanding. And then, the offensive stuff was, it's pretty similar. They both ended up missing some time. Corey struggled at the end of the regular season, so a lot of his numbers in which he was ahead of Shohei kind of dipped below him. But if you're going to factor in the bat and the field, then yeah, I think you've got to include Corey Seager because he wasn't far behind Shohei offensively. And it was just, it's remarkable, guys. Looking at his numbers, and I know you're probably not factoring this in the award, but he hits lefties, he hits righties, he hits fastballs, he hits breaking balls, he hits off-speed pitches. I don't know how you pitch him. I mean, if it's me, just looking at the numbers, maybe try get him low and away. And that's kind of what Brandon Pfaadt did in that very first at bat. He went changeup off the plate or just, on the fringe, and he was able to get him to roll over. But, Corey Seager's not someone who really has discernible holes right now. And that hasn't been the case, or that has been the case all year. And that to me has been what's, in part super impressive. How do you guys pitch him?
Same. That down and away. I think you have an opportunity to get a lot of outs. But you know how I get him out? By getting the guys around him out. Yeah. I can't believe they don't pitch around him a lot. And it's tough when a guy swings super early in a count. But to me, Marcus Semien has to be that team's MVP for me to even throw to Corey Seager. But they keep doing it.
No, I agree. And guys, that's where one of the, looking at some of the best lineups, the Dodgers 1-5 this year, probably better than the Rangers. You could say the Astros, same thing. You look at some of the really good lineups. Where the Rangers made their money was, 5-9, 6-9. And the guys at the bottom of the order getting on base ahead of Semien when he wasn't struggling, that was a real problem because, Semien leading off, getting on base with Leody Taveras, hitting in front of him, and then Corey Seager. And it made it tough for teams to pitch around him. But that's where, it goes back to Marcus Semien, where, his value is so great because it makes it a problem for pitchers and for Torey Lovullo and Brent Strom to figure out what to do. But, when Corey comes up in the first inning with 1 out and nobody on, it gives them a little more freedom and flexibility. Kratzy, before I forget, can I just tell you, it warms my heart. I've seen about 5 of your books on this road trip here in Arizona from players and coaches that are opening up, reading them on buses and on planes. It's the coolest thing. And I hope you're getting great response and feedback because I think that the book is awesome. I haven't finished it yet. I've started it, but we got a lot of people on Team Rangers who are reading that book.
Nice. I appreciate that. That's cool to hear. Yeah, we're getting a ton. I guess the people that don't like it haven't told me. So I'm glad there's a bunch of people that do like it. But my last question is, you were calling games for the Loons in 2011, but you're now calling games for a fan base that experienced 2011, experienced Nelson Cruz not supposed to be out there and, not catching that David Freese triple. What are Rangers fans most afraid of right now?
Oh, I think Rangers fans, you can't and I grew up in DFW, right? So when that Astros dislike and acting like I was the ALCS MVP, that's rooted from the fact that I grew up rooting for this team and suffering like a lot of the fans. And you can't say anything about 1 strike away or 1 out away or 1 game away because this organization, there's a feeling amongst the fan base of being cursed, and that cuts deep. We intentionally, the phrase, seriously, 1 strike away is not something we say very often over the course of a game because the Rangers in 2011 were 1 strike away twice. And for an organization to get that close and to come up short, it hurts. They haven't won a World Series. And then to see the Astros go and do it twice over the last few years, that cuts deep as well. So, the Rangers could, obviously the Diamondbacks have a win on the board. The Rangers could have been up 3-0 on the Diamondbacks, and this fan base would be wondering, all the different ways it could go wrong. So, this is not a fan base that I think is going to count, the chickens before they hatch. And it's an organization that hasn't won a World Series. And so I think the fear is that if something's going to go wrong, it will go wrong. Adolis Garcia, Max Scherzer walking off the mound. I'm sure that the fan base like, oh gosh, John Gray is going to come in, and not because of anything we feel about John Gray, but because of the track record, it's just not going to go well. And John Gray was awesome yesterday. He came up big. But, that's just kind of the disposition of this fan base. They feel cursed and they're trying to exorcise some demons, and hopefully, one of the coolest things, Adolis Garcia broke David Freese's record of most RBIs in a single postseason. And so one of the narratives was, hey, this is a sign that we are in the process of exercising the demons of 2011. But there are demons. And until the Rangers get that final win, those demons are going to be very much at the forefront.
Jared, since you've already celebrated your American League Championship MVP,
Yes.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah, thank you.
Will this, if, again, I'm going to say giant if, because it's not over yet, if the Rangers win the World Series, will you feel like it should have an asterisk next to it because you guys didn't win 100 games, you didn't win the division, and you had to play the extra round? Since everybody seems to be bitching and moaning that all the 100-win teams lost and are out. So do you feel like if the Rangers win this, then you guys should forfeit your title to a team that won 100 game like the Orioles or the Braves and Dodgers?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, that's definitely that's how it should always go, right? You should write, apology notes to the rest of the league. The Rangers beat a team in the first round that won 99 games. They beat the Orioles, and they won over 100 games. And I know the Astros only won 90 games, but they're the defending World Series champions. They've dominated the American League, and they've dominated the Rangers. The Rangers can't help, obviously, as you guys know, that the Diamondbacks, ended up going through the Brewers, the Dodgers, and the Phillies. I mean, I don't know what you guys said before the postseason. I remember listening to some of your conversations, but I know there was a pretty strong feeling that while the Braves were the regular season darlings, the Phillies maybe were the team best equipped to come out of the National League. And the Diamondbacks took them to 7. It wasn't like the Phillies suffered major injuries. They didn't lay down or anything. The Diamondbacks won. The Rangers can't do anything about that. And nothing's guaranteed, by the way, the rest of the series, obviously. But no, I mean, you don't get bonus points for the path you take. And the Rangers did not have an easy path to get here. That whole thing is garbage. I understand there are people who wanted an East Coast team. The East Coast bias is real. It exists for a reason. I get that, the ratings would probably be better if there was, a New York or Philadelphia team involved. But who the hell cares? It doesn't matter to me whether there are 9 million people watching or 90 million people watching. You go through 162. You earn your way into the postseason. And this team absolutely has earned their way to get to this point by playing the teams that they've played along the way.
Jared, you're great. You're built for this show as a media guest.
You are a homer of homers.
No, that's not what I was saying. I love the strong
Dude, he tracked me down for 2 weeks one time.
AJ
Dude,
stood me up once.
Bro, I got stuff to do, bro.
AJ was being big TV guy, had to get his makeup done, was too good to go on the Rangers radio network for a pregame interview.
Oh.
But I get it. I understand how it is.
Yep. Once a Ranger, always a Ranger.
You missed it earlier. There was a Red Sox prospect on who got turned down by AJ at a tailgate to say hello.
I disagree with that story.
You heard it. All right, good shit. Well, Jared, always great to catch up with you, dude. Enjoy this. We'll talk to you after it all goes down, but always appreciate having you on, dude.
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks so much for having me. Keep up the great work. You guys are the best thing for this sport.